What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Second Chance with Johneri'O Scott. And of course, it's me, your host, Johneri'O Scott. But today, we have DoubleR Muzik.
What's going on?
Better known as Derrick. What's good?
What's going on, man? Working.
Man, listen, definitely working. New music, projects coming soon.
Yep.
Man.
Single today.
Single today. We're going to get into that because, man, I was listening to that on my way here, and I'm just like, better days. And I think that song is so necessary for right now, and especially from like what everybody going through and coming out of. I won't say going through, but really coming out of the pandemic and just the craziness in this world, man.
Right.
And let me let you know, he's a writer, rapper, songwriter, entrepreneur, just killing the game. Music.
Doing it all.
Music.
Trying to do it all.
So, what is music to you? Like, what is music to Derrick?
It's everything. Like, I started young in the church.
In the church.
So, you know, it's everything. Literally from beating on pots and pans to like writing girls' poems, and then like loving rap. You know what I'm saying? But my mom was a minister, so I had to sneak and listen to music. You know, sneak and listen to Pac and Snoop, and had to, you know, get the little walk with the CD player. You can't shake it too much, so I had to sneak. And you know, when I grew up and I started writing for other people, like 14, being in that studio environment, I was like, nah, I want to do this. Like I want to be around these producers that hear things that I can't hear, these musicians that play things I can't play. And I'm like, oh, hey, how you do that with the, how you do? And then these grown people like, so what made you come up with that hook? How you get that cadence? And that exchange of ideas when I was 14 got me here. Like, now I can go into any studio and kind of do that same thing, even with people that I don't know. Right. But I fell in love with it early, so it's kind of like meant for me. You know, I feel like it's meant for me.
That's what's up. I'm sure I can tell that music definitely is soul to you, is power to you. Listen to your music, especially listen to Better and Kanye and Same Day. Like, I'm like, just the mixture of genres and the types. I'm just like, yo, this is a genius right here.
Yeah, trying to do everything. I'm following in the footsteps of like the great people that came before me. You know, it kind of cliche to say it, but like everybody has those influences. Like, oh yeah, this person, that person. But to me, it's the people that kind of like stayed themselves. Like, I've been true to myself this whole time and made what I wanted to make, and sounded the way that I've always sounded. So like, if you listen to like my very first project in 2013, up until Can I Borrow a Dollar and Stories I Tell, even with the stuff like the mixture of stuff that I dropped in between, I always kind of stayed consistent. Like, these are true stories that I'm telling. Granted, you know, you always put a little, put a little salt, little, you know what I'm saying, a little pepper on there, but still, these stories are true. Like, these are things that I'm either seeing or things that I'm going through, and I'm like, nah, I gotta talk about it. I dropped a song last year called Dreams, and Dreams is kind of like a culmination of all of the things I was going through and some stuff I went through before, but it's like, I'm not knowing until later that it's affecting other people the way it's affected me. I'm just writing like, man, I'm finna go get this bottle real quick, and then when I write the song, and when I put the song out, it was a SoundCloud exclusive. It didn't do much, but the people that heard it were like the people that needed to hear it. And then they reached out to me like, hey, this song like saved my life. I'm not thinking about that at the time, because I'm like, I'm trying to end it.
Right, you in your own zone.
Man. So I definitely feel like being able to like really write down what you're going through, how you're going through it, how you're feeling, even though you might not feel like that later, by the time somebody else hears it, they're like, you don't even know.
You don't even know. And that just, and it's crazy how it just be therapeutic to you. Like, you just letting it go and just, yo, I gotta get this out, and not knowing that, man, you changing somebody's life.
Yeah, it's a task.
What you know about second chances?
I've been given a few. I've been given a few seconds and thirds and fourths. Yeah, I've been through some things that I definitely talk about in my music.
Right.
Depression is like a real thing, and I went through kind of like a real thing. Like I don't really know what to call it,
right?
But it was bad. My mom had cancer 4 times, kind of like spread out, but it was a lot. And I've been taking care of her like basically my whole life. And I got to a point where now I can't do this. Like I'm just tired.
Yes.
That's where that song come from. But that song in combination with Dream, if you listen to them, because they're 6 years apart. 6 years apart. Between the release. Everything that I went through that I was talking about in deep, as I was going through it, I kind of came out of it. And then everything I talked about in Dream is basically what led to that song being made. So the getting drunk and like crashing a car, literally into another car, getting out, no scratches. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, or like drinking yourself into like I'm trying to end it.
Right.
And waking up in the hospital like, who did this? Who brought me here?
So yeah, you know about second chances. And
thirds and fourth chances.
Right. Listen, chance and chance, Lord, thank you for keeping me.
Right.
But that just means that you have a purpose, bro. And like you said, your music is therapy. Your music is that purpose. So as people continue to reach out to you and say, man, your music is touching me, bro, that should give you even more life.
Yeah, I've been kind of, it been resonating with me lately because I finally get to look at things a certain type of way. When you're in it, you don't really see it.
Right.
Like when you running, you don't really see
you just
nobody running with you. You just, and I finally been able to like slow down and say, okay, there's some grass over there. Like when they say stop and smell the roses, I'm finally being able to, hold on, what that? Oh, that's not a rose. That's a tulip, or that's a dandelion. Like I'm finally getting to a point where now I can kind of slow down and kind of move a little bit about how I want to, but to kind of enjoy the music as I'm making it, because I'm getting this stuff out, and when I'm getting it out, I really like release it.
How does it feel?
It's like that. Like when you wake up in the morning, that first stretch, like the one where you just, it's after I record the song, and it sounds sonically, it sounds the way I want. It's the stretch. It's like, all
that's
right,
a good feeling.
That's that one done.
Right.
On to the next.
On to the next.
Right.
So take us in the studio. Put us in the studio with you. What's that vibe like? What are your must-haves? What do you do to prepare when you start writing? Like, what's that studio like for you?
I like to go into the studio prepared. So before I even get there, even though I got my own studio, if I ever go to a studio, I like being prepared. So I go beat already made, already ready, hook in mind, already ready, versus however I want them already done. So when I get there, I don't waste no time. Because these are things I have to. These are things I have to get out, and they have to come out in a way that if I listen to it later, it'll affect me. In my mind, I'm writing so it affect other people, but I'm listening to it later so it affect me too. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
So that's how I'm going into every studio session, even at home. Waking up, going sitting at the computer. I gotta create something. I need it to be. It needs to feel like I didn't make it.
Right.
Like I want to record something where it doesn't feel like I made it.
Dang, I did that.
And that's how it's been coming out lately. Like, who made this?
So when you now, after putting the music out, releasing it, now when you, today, 2022, when you look back 6 and 8 years back, like, what would you tell that Derrick?
You're going to be all right.
You're going to be all right.
Like, you're going to be all right. I was going through some stuff at that time that I couldn't articulate to the people that was around me. Even though I could, like, going to therapy and talking to my therapist, and my therapist used to tell me, maybe the people that's around you don't understand it because they haven't been where you are yet.
They right.
I'm not caring when you're telling me that, because I'm like, so? But as a friend, you should, and I'm not taking into account that all friends aren't built for all journeys. Like I can't say we finna go climb a mountain, but you got on flip flops. This not built for this. No, you sidewalk walking, but I'm climbing a mountain.
Listen,
and you got on slides, and you're gonna hurt yourself. And a lot of my friends were flip floppers. They were going through their own thing, and we all have them. Bro, I just need to talk, and then when you need to vent, all right, I'm gonna give you a call back. I'm gonna give you hey, hold on, I'm gonna hit you right back. Those friends. So I would just tell that Derrick, the 2010, 11, 12, 13 Derrick, hey bro, you're gonna be straight.
Was there ever time when you did create music and you felt like you were defeated? Meaning, you was like, I just know, like, over and over again, like, no, this ain't it.
Deep. It took me a year and a half to make that beat. Cause it didn't sound, every time I listened to it, it sounded different. And I wanted to listen to the beat, just the production. And every time I heard it, and I kind of had to get to a point where maybe it's supposed to be like that. Maybe it's supposed to, because I do this to other people's music when I'm listening to, especially people that inspire me, listen to their music. Every time I listen to it, it sounds different. And I'm listening to my own production, like, why it sound different every time I do it? Not realizing it's supposed to be like that. So that's how I listen to my music. So I'm also super critical of it. But a lot of the time, I had to, even now, I still have to kind of get to a point where I'm like, you know what? This one is the right one. Leave it alone. Take a couple weeks. Don't listen to it. Don't touch it. And then when I listen to it again, I'm like, but what was I doing? What was I doing? Like, I should have been put this out. I should have left it where it was. Like, God don't give you something and be like, hey, you gotta make some changes to it. And I'm gonna give you this, but you gotta make some changes. No, I'm gonna give you something and then you have to change. And that's what I'm realizing about my music as a whole. I'm changing with my music. Like, my music, I'm recording it, the music is staying the same, but I'm changing around it. Like, if that's the center stone, I'm moving around it, trying to make changes to it, but it's not changing because the problem wasn't the music, the problem was me.
And that's deep.
And now I'm starting to see, okay, nah, it's already, the foundation it's already there.
Dang, so now when you noticing that, do you ever think back to music that you've done in the past and say, well, was I supposed to change back then with the music?
Yeah. Yeah. I probably would have avoided a lot if I didn't second guess my music 6 years ago.
Because God, He was preparing you.
He was telling me then, this is it.
That was it.
And I was telling God, nah, that ain't it. Like, nah. And I kept getting sign after sign, like, nah, this it. Nah, this it. Look, this it. Leave it alone.
Right.
Put it out. Nah, I ain't gonna put it out yet. It don't sound how I want it to sound. It don't feel how I wanted to put it out. This is people like around me that heard that song. Like, man, you don't even know. Like, you changed. And I'm like, yeah, but it don't even feel how I needed to. What you talking about? I'm questioning. Like, when you get the blessing and you like,
right.
I don't even know if.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm questioning the blessing.
Right.
And now I see that I was doing it in error, but I also learned from it. It took a long time, but I learned from it.
That's you. That's God right there using you as a vessel, touching people and you don't even know it.
I'm trying to avoid it.
You right. You like they say in church, you running from it.
Cause it was bad. It was bad. Like, I'm in the music talking about, you know, hey, things can get better when I'm in my mind. Man, things can't get no worse. That's what I'm saying to myself. Right. Even though I'm writing the song, like, yeah, it's better. It's better. It's better. You see that? Go home.
It's like,
man, things can't get worse than this.
Man, y'all, Derrick, listen.
I did a lot.
DoubleR Muzik.
Even since the last time we talked, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
What advice would you give right now a rapper that's going through the same thing, that's like, yo, like, even just an engineer or music creative that's just in the studio and is like, this ain't right. This ain't right. Writing it down, nah, this ain't right.
Follow that first instinct. If your first instinct is to get it out, it's right. Because a lot of the time what we'll do, and you know as a creator, you'll create something, you'll write it down, and then you'll go back and look at it.
Right.
If you write it down, if you go record it, if you can't get rid of that melody, that's the right one.
That's the right one. You make me think about 5 Heartbeats when he was in the room with his sister and was writing
and just
throw it.
I do that.
And then, but at the end of the day, when he went back to it, it was like, yo,
all the words.
All the words. Some of you thinking like,
yeah, it's a being a songwriter, and because I'm so critical of writing in general, so it not only got to make sense,
right?
It not only got to match my story and my narrative and whoever else I'm writing for, but it also has to be appealing enough for me to listen to it like I didn't make it.
Right.
And if I can't listen to it like I didn't make it, a lot of the time it's a problem. But the first thought is, nah, that's it. I'm just a perfectionist. I'm going back. Hey God, you sure? I do that in my real life. Be outside doing something like, man, I just got a blessing. Hey God, you sure this? You sure this for me? Well, when you got a question whether it's for you, and when you notice that you're doing it, you make those corrections. Because you don't get a bunch of chances to, hey God, let me hide. You don't get a bunch of it's a lot of the time it's like, hey, this is the lesson. Take the lesson, share the lesson.
Move on now.
If you got to ask that many questions, maybe I need to take it from you.
Maybe you ain't ready for it. And we ready, Lord. We ready.
Yeah, I need it. I need it. Hey God, I'm listening. I hear you. I hear you.
Oh yeah.
I hear you. It took a long time for me to get to that, but I'm so glad I'm here now.
Yo.
I'm so glad I'm here now.
Well, we glad for you, man. And we here listening and ready for this music. And speak about music, I want to talk about first 2018. Can I Borrow?
Can I Borrow $1? That's that particular time I was creating kind of like in anger. Like I was creating a lot, trying to get out of a situation that I was in. Shout out to that situation, but it wasn't for me.
Right.
And I was creating to get out of that. Even though I believe in the music, I wasn't necessarily creating from a place of belief. I didn't believe until after. Like I recorded everything, wrote all the songs, took some songs I already had, took some new stuff, put it together, and then put it out. And after it was out, and I really got to go back and listen to it, all right, I get it. I understand why the situation didn't work. Because if they're listening to this the same way I'm listening to it, they don't know how to sell it either. They don't know how to market this either. They don't know how to present this to people that don't know me either. And I was frustrated with that. I was frustrated where when you create something and you say, hey, listen to this. And they say, I mean, you rapping real good, but you don't, like, maybe it's a lot of words. Like maybe, I mean, I understand like you like a rap, like a lyricist, but maybe you got to dumb it down a little bit. And in my mind, well, how much you talking about?
Right.
Because that's where songs like Kanye come from. Kanye is that song where I'm saying things at a very, very high level in a very, very ignorant way, and it's still missing.
Still missing.
So how much more do I got to dumb
it down?
And I was very frustrated with it, and when I put it out, I kind of just let it go. Like, it's not a bunch I could do with it. Y'all don't know how to market it. I don't know how to trust y'all to put it out, to show my vision, so I'm gonna just leave it alone. I'm gonna enjoy the music, I'm gonna let people listen to it, and then that's it.
Right.
And it was hard doing it, but I had to get out of what I was in. So now I can appreciate the music that I made
right
back then, because I wouldn't have been able to appreciate it if I was still in that little situation.
In that situation. Yeah. And also listening to Same Day Stories, and it's just like you're definitely a lyricist. Like, did you used to study dictionaries or something? Like, what is this your vocabulary?
I do a lot of reading.
Oh, okay.
I've always done a lot of reading. I've always done a lot of study. I studied psychology in school, and you learn certain trigger words, certain things that you can do with your voice from being in music, and especially growing up in the church. You learn that there are certain things that you can do with your voice to invoke emotion.
Yep.
So,
like Tupac, Dear Mama.
Yeah.
How he was just putting it out.
And that's like an inspiration of mine, where Tone, when he came on the song, you knew it was him. It don't matter if you heard the acapella version, you're like, hold on, that's Tupac.
Right.
It don't matter where you at, somebody be down the street playing it, and
like, yo,
that's Pop. His tone was very important to like the emotion that he invoked through the music.
Yep.
And those are things like that I study and pay attention to.
Yep, I can see.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing. It's not just about being able to put the words together or put the bars together or being able to mix and master it. Is okay, when somebody get it, are they going to feel anything?
I tell people all the time, the best way to capture somebody is through their emotion. Once you got their emotion, you got their attention, and they're going to be drawn to whatever you're giving them, whatever you're selling them. And in your music, you definitely... People now are really into storytelling and wanting to know, yo, what's going on? And in all your songs, you be like, yo, like you feel it. And I think that's good.
Yeah, it's always a story in it.
Always.
I just had to get used to people not understanding.
Did you have to get used to being vulnerable in your music? Do you think that was part of it?
No, I don't like being... I'm really articulate, so I don't like being like misquoted. Or
I know
I don't like my story being misrepresented. I don't like being misinterpreted because I'm very direct. Even with rap, like, granted, it's double, triple, quadruple entendres. It's stories wrapped around stories and plots here and here, and almost all of my music is connected. So you'll hear a song on the first project that's connected to the third song on the second project. I learned that from guys that I pay attention to, but I don't like being misinterpreted. And I think it's really hard to tell somebody your story in a conversation, record the music, they listen to the music and they don't get it, even though we talk. That part is the hard part. I had to learn that I can't control that. Because if people don't talk to me and then they listen to the music, there's a narrative with the music that they're going to have without knowing me. And then if people do talk to me, there's a narrative outside of the music that when they hear the music, they you know what I'm saying? So I had to get used to that part. Just, you're not being misinterpreted. A lot of the time, there just isn't, it's not a catalyst in between you and the person that's listening to the music. Even though I was sending the music directly to people, it was nobody to say, how did you feel, like somebody outside of me and your relationship asked you about my music, and then y'all connect in a way where now you understand where I was coming from. It was nobody like that.
Right.
And I had to learn that a lot of the time it's not going to be people like that. So you have to create and then let people enjoy and digest how they digest it. And then later they'll get it.
Right. I was saying, they're going to come back to it. Then something going to trigger and be like,
they'll learn it the same way I did. Because now I go back and listen to certain songs and I'm hearing lessons and I'm hearing little tidbits like, hey, here go a little gem for you. Take that. I'm hearing that in my own music. So I know that there are people that I might have introduced to my music or might have met me in some capacity, and now they are hearing the same thing. Even though back then that used to be a problem. Like, how you don't get it? Right, I'm saying it.
I'm as clear as I can.
Right, I'm saying it to you, and you saying you don't get it. No, I don't get it. All right.
So Derrick is the GOAT. Like, I'm ready for this. Right. I'm ready for you to just to open up this whole class on teaching and like you, like, yo.
Yeah, I got some stuff in the works.
Yo, so let's get on Better.
So Better, shout out to Toya and shout out to Kalia, her daughter. Like, that's when she told me, because me and her known each other like 14, 15 years.
Wow.
And when that happened, you can get an idea. She was in like a different place. Mm-hmm. But I wrote that song specifically from what her daughter's point of view would be. Looking at everybody, looking at her now.
Yes.
And then she telling everybody, I'm better. Like, I'm getting better. I'm growing better. I'm thinking better. Like, everything is getting better. Even though everybody looking at her because she a child, like, hey, baby, what you need, baby? And she like, I'm good.
Right.
Like, I'm growing into myself. I'm growing into this new normal. Mm-hmm. After this accident, y'all had to take care of me. Now, I'm getting to a point where, hey, I can move some things on my own. I can do some things on my own. Even though she's still young, if you meet her, and you met her, right.
She's a hearing. She know what's going on.
Yeah, she know what's going on.
Right.
And that song is basically from her perspective. Like, this is what it looks like to get better. Mommy, like, you ain't got to cry.
You ain't got to, right. Like, you know, listen, y'all, make sure y'all check out that song. Spotify.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's out now. It's on all platforms.
Yes.
Better, featuring Ashley, the writer.
Yeah. Man, Derrick, what's next? What's next?
So, we got a lot of music. Got the merch just dropped. Vintage.
Yes, I saw that.
Go on the gram and go copy your vintage hoodie. It's DoubleR Muzik. There's a link in my bio. Go on the page, Vintage Apparel on Instagram. But the music is coming. Like, I got a project coming. So I've done a project. It's a series called Stories I Tell. Basically like a combination of stories, short stories, however I put them. That part 2, volume 2 will be out January 29th. That's my mom's birthday.
All right.
And then I got this conceptual project called In My Feelings. It's a double project. So the first half is R&B, very R&B-ish, which is the vulnerable side, the lovey-dovey side, the everything is going great until. That's the first half. That's the feels. It is In My Feelings, and then it's feelings, and then the second half is called Toxic. And Toxic is everything that went wrong until it go wrong all the way. Like, you still trying to hold on, but you gotta let that thing go, and you trying not to, and then you let it go, and you like, man. At the end, I got a song called Remember Me. Like, from the field, from everything that we went through, from all the feelings, I hope you remember me.
Yeah, that's
the last song. Yeah, that's the. Yes, it is very toxic. So
like, you look like we gonna go through this area. It was good, then it got crazy. But you know, I'm gonna let you remember me.
Right. Yeah. When you go and be in your next relationship, remember me.
I like that. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. There's an R&B side, which is feels, and then the rap side, which is toxic. And that project is In My Feelings. It come out February 14th. I'm gonna release it on Valentine's Day. Yeah, I'm a toxic person.
Toxic.
With the music, not in real life, but with the music, I gotta put it out on Valentine's Day.
Yo, well, y'all, we all here for it. I'm gonna add instructor to you. Derrick is also a music instructor.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming too. I'm going to be teaching some classes.
Please.
I got some things I'm about to start. The podcast Bittersweet. It'll finally be video episodes in January. Got the camera today, so we got some stuff.
Wrap.
Yeah.
Yo, Derrick, let everyone know how they can stay tuned and can continue to connect with you.
So Instagram is DoubleR Muzik, DoubleR Muzik. Yeah, you get, and everything is on the Instagram. So it'll take you to the Facebook, it'll take you to the Twitter, take you to the Spotify, the Apple Music, SoundCloud. It'll take you everywhere because there are songs that are not on my Apple Music that are on SoundCloud. They'll all be available on all platforms January 1st. Songs like Deep, songs like Almost There, songs like Dream, all those songs will be available at the top of the year.
Hey, and y'all make sure y'all scream it and clock in. I'm telling y'all, y'all better tap in right now. I'm telling you. All right, y'all. Derrick, DoubleR Muzik, Johneri'O Scott. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Second Chance with Johneri'O Scott, and we'll be back later. Peace.